All right, welcome to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly. I'm here with my co-host, Charlie Cavalier, and our guest today, Lexi Pantera.
What's popping?
Not much. How
I'm
you
in
doing?
Vegas.
You're in Vegas.
Yesterday. I've been traveling so damn much, I don't know where I go anymore. Vegas is cool.
That's a no.
That's a no.
Yeah, that's a no.
Like, to live or to party is cool.
Okay. You were just at Coachella, right?
Yes.
How was it?
You know, Frank Ocean just completely bombed the whole performance.
That's disappointing.
It is
It
disappointing.
was insane what the set was like, and it lasted for like 30 minutes, I think. And I was just like this the whole time, like, what is going on? But
Wow.
no, I don't think I'm going back to Coachella unless I'm performing. I think I've had my share. Like, I've been there like over five times or something. It took me an hour to park. I'm like, what is going on?
They
Like,
should
I
have had a
don't want
helicopter
all
for
this
you.
dumb drama for no. I agree. I should be helicoptered in the festival.
Just parachute in, drop right in onto stage, perform, get ready to do it.
That's exactly
fun.
what I would like. Yeah, it was fun. That was cool. It was a vibe. I like to see familiar faces.
Okay. What do you do for people that don't know you?
I'm a singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, dancer, sister,
Assistant. Oh,
a
sister.
daughter,
Okay.
a sister or a sister.
You have done a lot of different things. I mean, all the way back to the twerkout stuff, to everything. What do you think for you was your big break in the beginning that at least started your ascension?
The twerkout class.
The twerkout class?
That's when I started getting popular. It just caught on really quickly, so it was just like a viral moment, like
Yeah.
couple viral videos at the, like one right after the other. It just kept going and going, and I took the opportunity. I'm like, oh, let me build a brand and let me make money off of it.
Do you believe every girl should know how to twerk?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
What about the guys? The guys not? The guys?
Nah, I
not
don't think it's that important.
Yeah,
Okay,
guys
that's
don't
good.
do it.
I'm covered.
But speaking of guys, you said 85% of guys are cheaters. The real question is why, and also what percentage of girls are cheaters?
If I was to put a random number on it, I would say girls are probably 40,
We're just making numbers up right now.
45%,
So half of men.
less than half.
So 85% of men are cheaters. Okay. I'm
Like,
gonna,
it's a
as
fact.
part of the 15%, right? How did we decide this? Like, how did this come about? Like, where is this coming from? Because I can't say you're wrong.
Okay, you know what?
He's
You've
lower.
never held back before. So what is it you just want to say right now?
I feel like maybe I misspoke when I said that, but I'm only speaking from, I think I changed my mind.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is, in the industry, 85% or more are cheaters. Your normal average Joe, probably not, but also because there's really not that many options if you're in like a small town or like, you know, so that changes everything. So that's what I would say.
Fair.
Yeah.
When you say industry, what industry?
You know, this could go from, okay, another thing. It could just be also maybe successful men are
Okay.
even more
Oh, so you
likely to
think
cheat. So it could be business, it could be Wall Street, it could be entertainment like music and,
Okay.
and movies and
so you think the more successful a man becomes, the higher percentage likelihood they
1000%.
cheat?
Yes, yes.
Interesting.
I would disagree with that. I'm speaking from personal experience, right? So like, I think that you're absolutely right. The more opportunities that are presented to you, right, the more often it might happen.
How many of your guys could you say that you know that are your friends that have not cheated? Look at
I'm
the
not throwing
smile.
anybody under the
Automatically,
bus.
both of you guys smile. Like, you're one out of every guy I talk to that's my friend.
Right.
They literally say, I don't have one guy friend that has not cheated, or that has not cheated. And I'm like, this is crazy.
You're right. You know what? She's not wrong. I'm trying to
I'm
think
having
of
trouble.
like, I'm having trouble thinking of
That's so sad.
It's sad.
And don't introduce
It's
me to
sad.
none of your friends.
Don't worry. Okay, so how many of your friends that are girls can you say have not all
Barely
of them?
any cheat.
Barely
Whoa.
any cheat.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Interesting.
Girls just don't do that. We're not, the girls that do that, they've been doomed from the start. Like, there's just something's wrong with you. And like, not that something's wrong with you, but they're just doomed from the start. And like, something's really, really going on in that relationship that's like gonna make that happen. And I'm not saying it's right, but for a guy, nothing can even be going wrong in the relationship and they're still cheating. And it's like,
Interesting.
what is going for what? You know, and what's funny is like a guy will never break up with a girl. Like the girl's always usually the one to like break up with the guy. Guys will stay in it for a minute, I think, and like just.
So you do think guys are willing to stick with it longer
and like do what they're doing?
Could you be in an open relationship?
You know, I did. Well, you know, I was put in a situation where I was trying something new. And it was more open for him, and he didn't want me to do anything. So I was stuck.
That's just called control.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to do this? And it was a really, I'm not gonna say toxic because he was never a liar. It was never like shady like that, but like I just couldn't handle it, and I didn't know how to handle it, and I wasn't mentally where I am now. Maybe more so now just because of certain things in my mind, but like it was hard for me to deal with that. Yeah,
I feel that.
It's not easy, especially when it's not on my end. I'm like, well, then I can't be distracted, and I'm only worried about what you're doing and who you're with. Like, it's not fair.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I could do it.
that's a hard thing. For
No, it's too
guys can
stressful.
barely ever do that. That's why.
We suck at multitasking, right? Like I got enough shit going on. I don't need to worry about.
But you guys can have
know.
multiple girls and talk to multiple girls. Not saying girlfriends, but like
It's
guys
too
talk to
it's way
multiple
too
girls at the same
time-consuming.
time.
It is
Yeah.
way too time consuming. By the way, I thought of a friend that hasn't cheated and wouldn't
Oh.
cheat. My friend Sean. Right? So
Sean.
like
Don't lie, Sean.
5.5 years.
yep.
Are you in a relationship right now?
5.5 years. Yeah.
So as a successful woman, as you know, you're doing a bunch of stuff, what is the hardest thing for you when it comes to dating?
Everything.
Just all the same normal stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing that your success or your fame brings extra to the table that makes it more difficult.
It
Like,
makes it more difficult that
Okay.
I have money.
why is that? Do you think guys get insecure?
Absolutely.
sure.
That's the first thing they do is get insecure. And then they're like, okay, well, she has everything. Like, what am I going to offer her? So then they feel even more demasculated.
Yeah.
They just feel less of a man because they're like, oh, I can't provide for her. Oh, what am I going to do? She does everything for herself. They don't feel needed. That's when they start to go cheat on you as well. Because then they go to like people that are lower than you in whatever aspect because they make them feel like they're gods. And they're like,
Right.
oh, like, you know, give me this. Oh my God, you have this or whatever. So
I did
it's hard
read a
dating
lot of
nowadays.
successful females have trouble dating.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm very highly independent, hyper independent person. So I have a hard time asking men for like money or things or I need your help because I don't really need you. And so it's like, well, how do you make a man feel really needed if you don't need them? And that's why I love love. Like I'm a very big lover. I love affection and I'll be there for the person. Like all these other things that don't have to do with like, I don't necessarily need you to do things for me. But that's what a guy is like thriving in his masculinity is like
To provide.
I can provide and do for you, you know.
Right.
So I'm trying to find my vulnerable, okay, like how can I step back and let him do for me? I don't really know what that's like or how that feels or what that even means. So I'm trying to learn and see what that is.
Interesting.
You have 2 songs going very viral on TikTok right now. You have both a male and female crowd that is absolutely falling in love with your stuff across all platforms.
Yeah.
To you, is social media a good thing or a bad thing for your career? Do you enjoy doing it or do you find it toxic
No,
with all
I
the
love
stuff you
social
have?
media. I don't think social media is toxic at all.
Really? So
In
you don't find
any
yourself
aspect.
scrolling. You're not stuck in the echo chamber.
No.
Okay.
And I've learned how to meditate the past couple months. So I've been in a very good space mentally, physically, emotionally. And when I feel like something's like my energy's shifting and like, oh, I'm doing too much, I'll just get off of it. It's not a big deal for me.
Okay.
The hate comments, I don't care about. I've been in it so long, I don't really give a damn anymore. But I like to comfort people for sure. Like comebacks online are hilarious. I'll go for your life.
And you go hard on Twitter. You go
Oh,
very
yeah.
hard on Twitter.
I'm always on
Actually,
Twitter.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
how
I'm
hard?
scared to like
I
them.
love Twitter.
I am literally scared to like the tweets sometimes. I'll be like, I don't think I want my name liking it real quick.
Attached to it,
Yeah,
it goes up.
it does.
The more fuck shit you do on Twitter, the more popular you get. It's
perfect.
hilarious.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
So you're the most followed OnlyFans creator.
Actually, I think there's like 2 girls right now that are like heading me.
Okay. But
Yeah,
you're top
one of
3,
the top
whatever it
3,
is.
yeah.
How has getting into OnlyFans affected your personal life with family, with dating?
I don't think it's changed anything with dating.
Okay.
Thankfully. No one's really cared about it. Family, me and my dad kind of got into a little thing, but honestly, I think he's just projecting because he knows I've been on the platform for a couple years now. We got into a whole thing. So me and him are on little terms right now, but it's been totally fine. It's helped my family, if anything. I mean, I help pay for my family stuff, so it's benefited all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has been the hardest part about your ascension, fame, money, anything, if anything to do with your personal life? Like maybe the dating, right? Hard to find guys that are secure enough to hang out with or whatever.
Well, even being kind of the center of the attention of the family.
Right.
I feel like I try to go home and I'm like trying to be normal and it doesn't necessarily work that way. I don't know really how to explain it. Not like they're all like, but it's just a lot of attention on me. Like even when I'm home sometimes. So that kind of gets a little weird, but
so what does a normal day of relaxing look like for Lexi Pantera? Like, are you by yourself? Are you playing video games? Are you playing with the dog? Like, if you can escape from
right
everyone.
now, I'm just, I like to spend a lot of time
hanging
at
out
home.
with Midnight?
Nightmare?
Nightmare?
My dog, Nightmare. Love hanging out with him. He's my best friend, the most loyal man in my life. Yeah, I honestly, like, I've been getting, like I said, to meditating. So, like, I'm learning about chakras right now. So, like, I'd like to just be home, eating some good food, focusing on my health because I have, like, Crohn's disease. So I'm focusing on eating, like, cooking at home. I've really been liking just really homey shit, homey stuff. Like, just chilling, soaking in the sun, going outside because I live in Miami. It's the best. So I like to soak in the sun and relax and listen to music, read books.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Just stuff like
pretty
that.
wholesome stuff.
Very wholesome. Very wholesome stuff. Normal stuff. Yeah. TV shows here and there. Kind of jump in and out of some sometimes.
What's your go-to show?
I literally just started or I finished watching Bridgerton, which is older. But like, oh my God, it's so good.
Haven't seen that one, have you?
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard good things about it. This is a very, I would not have guessed that for you.
Me either, but like the thing is in the beginning it got me because it was all about courting women. And it's like the olden days where it's like the men were like the women were created to be married and the men were created to like show off to the, and find the best woman. It's just very different now. And I'm like, whoa, like they were just fully taking care of the women. The guys are fighting over the women, even in public. Like, it's so different now. So that's what really got me going. I'm like, ooh, I like this. Let's go back to that.
What do you think of this masculinity movement on social media?
I'm like, I have a band on? What's this from?
Did you go to the hospital recently?
Clearly, I was out last
Coachella?
night or something. I'm like, what? I don't remember. My life goes too fast for me. It was something last night.
But yeah, what do you think of this movement on social media with guys like Sneeko, Fresh and Fit?
I definitely hate that it's a hating on women focused podcasts, which I like to go on because the clout, but it's funny just because like they're not necessarily like this in person as much as they try to be online. So I'm like, okay, like it's like alter egos almost. I don't get it though. It's like, what's the point of the podcast? Like, just to bash women? Like, I don't know. It's really weird.
Do you think, because it's weird, right? Because there's definitely a very much of a debate on social media right now, right? There's the Tate guys, screaming about how horrible, OnlyFans stuff is, or certain girls or girls nowadays, right? Or as the whatever guy says, right? Hoflation, with all the nonsense going on with all that stuff.
All these little terms that they keep coming up with too. Like, they like say random things on the podcast. I'm like, what are you saying?
To me, I genuinely think it's coming
like,
from guys' insecurity about women making more money than they might be able to. A lot of the haters I see on some of the content creators things are from guys, sitting in their mom's basement complaining about whatever. Where do you...
If you want to learn how to get a girl, honey, you ask us. Don't ask Andrew Tate.
So here's the question then. What is your advice to guys who want to date successful women?
I would just say be secure in yourself, like, and fun. Yeah, gotta be funny. That's number one. You gotta be secure in yourself. Like, I don't care how broke you are. Honestly, I don't give a damn. If we're connecting, if we have the chemistry, if if you're walking head tall, you know, shoulders back, like you're a fucking man, you're gonna notice that. We're gonna feel that. Like it and money doesn't have to be protection either. So it's like, it's not all about the success, the money. Like,
Yeah.
So just, that's my advice. Like,
And I'll vouch for that because you dated someone I know who didn't have money.
yeah, I've dated multiple guys. I've mostly helped my boyfriends, and before OnlyFans, it's been like that. So, and then I've dated successful people. They're both terrible.
Whoa.
They're both all guys are terrible. Wow.
No,
So is Lexi Pantera gonna get married and settle down one day?
I
Ooh.
want to. Yeah.
Okay. So
Of
you want
course.
kids?
Yeah, I want kids.
Okay.
I'll have kids, you know, in a couple years.
Yeah.
That's my goal, my hopes, my dreams one day. But I'm so focused on the music. I'm going on tour. Like, I have a lot going on right now. But I do want kids. My family definitely wants me to have kids. Charlie knows. I've known Charlie for a long time.
Yep. They
Family
want
friend
kids.
here.
Yep.
And they all want me to have a baby 10 years ago. So, and whether honestly it's with someone that I'm married with or love, like, we'll see. And it doesn't really matter to me. But I do want to have a child with somebody that I can trust. And
Okay.
like, whether
So you
that's
believe
a
in
partner
marriage?
or a friend or whatever. You know, marriage. Yes.
You gonna
I'm
lock
like
it down?
a yes
You gonna-
and no. I don't know.
But it's a long commitment.
It's a weird thing as I get older. I'm just kind of like, well, what's the point of it? But like, oh, I want the wedding dress. Like, I want to do the do.
Well, now you got assets, so a marriage would be
Make sure you get a prenup, Lexi.
risky.
Whoever's out there, we're gonna make sure Lexi has a
Prenups
prenup.
until children.
Right.
Because if I have children, we're definitely sharing some things.
okay.
Because you have to give up a lot. I'm taking some of his. I'll tell you that.
There you go.
Because you give up too much when you have children. So
You've had
especially women.
a very successful career in the music industry. It has been a bit of a roller coaster, I would say, like for a lot of people from different genres, working with different people.
Yeah.
What has been the highest and lowest point for you in music specifically?
You know, it's just a bunch of highs and lows because like one day you're like, oh my God, I booked a tour. Next day you're like, damn, that person said no. Oh, you did this. Like, damn. So you're just like up and down, up and down, up and down. Like that's the freaking business. And you live on those highs, you know, and then when it's low, you're like, I give up. Like I quit. No one fucking likes me. I might as well stop. I suck. And there's so many artists around me right now that are independent, that are so talented. And it's like, it's just not promised. You got to do it because you love it. And that's why we're doing it. So it's a complicated business to be in emotionally. It's really hard, you know? And so, yeah, it's really up and down.
Yeah, I feel like not a lot of artists last long either.
No.
And it's like, well, what do you do after too? You know, it's like, well, what's next if I'm not doing music? Like, this is the only thing I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's not like being a doctor. There's no right way. Like, you can't be like, oh, here's your path on how to be a singer. Like, no way. You're learning as you go. People are telling you right things, wrong things. Like, you're going this way, you're supposed to go that way. It's just like, there is no right way or timeline or anything. So you're just going with the frickin' flow of it. And because you like to do it.
That makes sense.
That's the only way.
So if there was something you could change about all of this culture around the hate on OnlyFans creators right now, who would you tell to fuck off and why? Right? Who is the person?
There's only 2 haters
Okay.
in the OnlyFans community.
Which are?
A group. They're
Okay.
groups.
Oh, groups.
It's not just 2 people.
Oh, okay.
A lot of you. The girls who can't do it, whatever that means.
Sure.
Don't want to because of family, can't because whatever. They hate on girls that have it. And then men, because men are mad that they can't do it. And so it's like, there's your group. Other than that, I feel like everyone doesn't really care.
I agree.
That's a
Unless you're
big
super
group.
religious, maybe, you know, that's fine. That makes sense. Other than that, yeah, I mean, guys are a really big part of that. They're just mad because, you know, instead they have to sell drugs to do the equivalent of what an OnlyFans would be, you know? I always say like rappers and shit, like they get away with selling drugs and doing that whole thing, but God forbid a girl has OnlyFans. Suddenly it's like a bad thing. And I've experienced this personally in my industry, the singing industry. Like I've had opportunities taken away from me because I'm an OnlyFans artist. And I'm like, okay, but you support these people, murderers, people who have shot people who are still drug dealing and drug dealers and known for all these things. You guys can put them on radio. You guys can do this, blah, blah, blah. But God forbid I have an OnlyFans. Like that's psycho.
Yeah. Do you think women should care about their body counts?
I mean, we do, because it's, I think, just so badly shunned on.
It is. And it's good for men to have high body counts, right? But for women,
like, that's wild.
Critical.
Yeah, it's not fair, but that's why women don't like to talk about it. I would never talk about my body count.
I think a lot of it comes from insecurity. I think there comes from, like you just said, like a place of judgment where guys just want to feel overly masculine.
Yeah, the amount of girls you get, that's a woo.
What is the worst experience you've had with telling someone that you do OnlyFans in some capacity, whether it's family, friends?
No, recently it was a really big deal in the business. I was cussing out the air for 3 days straight. I was getting on the phone. I was going crazy because I had an opportunity to do some radio stuff. And they took, the guy was interested in my music, liked my music, blah, blah. My team was talking to them. I never talked to them. And then he took me to his team, which were a bunch of females. And the females were like, oh no, we don't want to work with the girls that have OnlyFans. And I'm like, you guys don't even know me. You don't know what I've done. They don't know anything about me or music or anything. So it's like, if you guys knew what I was doing and how I was the first music video or the person to put a music video on OnlyFans, and I just changed the fucking game, period, and brought all these girls on OnlyFans. And so, and it's for other reasons, like BTS and music videos and all these things that we created. They don't look at that. They don't care. They just think it's a sexual platform and you're just done. And so it took away an opportunity for me, and I was just beyond mad.
So you don't do any...
The Gram don't pay, so I had to leave.
Wow.
And I'm still on there.
So you don't do any sexual stuff on your OnlyFans?
Not sexual. I mean, I don't have nudes, and I don't do porn, and I don't touch myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of girls do, though, right?
Yeah. A lot of girls do that shit, and they make a lot of money.
This is a common conversation we've had before. Like, I've never been on OnlyFans in my entire life.
Yeah.
You loved making fun of me because you were like, showing me analytics one day, and I'm like, Lexi, I don't want to go on OnlyFans. I don't need to go on OnlyFans.
I don't need you to go on my OnlyFans either.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like, what is the weirdest, awkward thing that you've had to deal with in the music industry because of OnlyFans? Obviously, the situation you just described.
Well, there was a big show that has a really big artist on it that hosts a show, like a talk show. And my PR comes to me and they're like, oh, like one of the producers is like a big fan of yours. And he's on OnlyFans or something. And I was like, oh God, like it's just awkward at that point. It's like, oh, good to know. Like that, yeah, it comes because you're vulnerable on OnlyFans, but you don't really have to deal with it in person necessarily. You don't really, it doesn't affect my life until things like that little thing come up, and I'm like, cool.
So how many followers do you have on there?
Like 620,000.
Oh, there's that many people on there?
There's millions.
Wow. There's I've never been on it.
A lot of people on OnlyFans.
That's crazy.
So what does the end of your career look like, right? Is there a life?
Give it all up, get married to a rich man. Like
Is it like a musical award? Is there a dollar amount? Like, what is the point at which you do decide, I'm going to stop going a million miles an hour. I want to settle down?
For me, I think music-wise,
Grammy.
Ooh.
In like about 4 years, it's done.
Okay.
I have a good couple more years left in me only. Unless, something starts exploding and I'll go till I can't go anymore. But like, yeah. And I mean, I don't really give a shit about the Grammys, the award shows. Like, it doesn't mean anything. So it'll be very flattering. I'll be crying on stage, I'm sure. But like, now when I think about it, I don't really care. It's not a big deal for me. Like, someone
politics.
telling me that like, yeah, I'm good. Like, bitch, I know I'm good. Like,
yeah.
So, but for me personally, it's sold out tours, shows, like the fans that are in the audience. That's what matters. And like them singing my records and them making videos on TikTok to my song, using my song. Like the fact that there's 60,000 people on a Bad Bitch right now using my song is insane. And
wow.
I always think numbers. I'm like, oh, 60,000 views. Like that's whatever for me. But no, these are people using your song into a video, clicking 60,000 people. And I'm like, that's a lot. It took me like 2 days to like process like what does that really mean? Like oh, it's not views. It's like real.
Yeah.
It's real shit.
It's a lot of videos.
And it's 2 songs right now at the same time. I don't understand how this
And you got no
happened.
label pushing this?
No, I'm independent.
Wow,
fully.
that's impressive.
Lex Luthor Records.
I remember a few years ago, I mean, it seems like a few years ago now, we were talking about how you were putting out music videos on OnlyFans. You didn't have a record label backing you. How broke is the music industry where someone like you had to do all this work to get your name out there, but there's record labels that are just suppressing other musical talent like yourself? If you didn't have the money to do it yourself,
There's no way I would do it.
there's no way it would have happened. So
that's the crazy part, is just like independent artists, like you are fucked if you don't have money. You're not. It's like more than impossible then at that point, because you can't pay producers, you can't pay your engineer, you can't pay studio time, you can't do music videos, you can't do wardrobe, hair, makeup. Like, it is crazy the amount that you spend on these things. And, you know, labels, they pay for it all, but you eventually pay for it all. And there's artists that I know that are on labels that had to join OnlyFans. And I'm like, and this is where my shift came in. I was like, whoa, I'm absolutely doing everything correctly, because the fact that you, who I know, you're way bigger than me in the music business. I look up to you almost. You just joined OnlyFans and you're with a major label and you have a lot of streams on Spotify, a lot of followers on Spotify. You're going and performing it, Rolling Loud, like all these things that I want.
Yeah.
And they're over here joining OnlyFans because they're like, yeah, well, my label doesn't pay for everything, so I gotta like put in money for this. I'm like, I'm obviously doing everything correct.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, I'm on top.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing
And
it.
you don't have to answer anyone either.
Hell no. And I make any type of music, any type of videos, anything I want to do.
I feel that.
Like I said, it costs a lot of money. A lot of money.
I've got a wild question coming your way.
Okay.
Have you ever been arrested?
I have been arrested. Really, like, it's weird that I say that because I never thought that this would ever happen. In January, I got arrested in front of Club 11 in Miami.
You were drunk?
I was a little tipsy.
Okay.
And a little bold.
You were probably
I don't drink a lot,
you were probably a little tipsy and very bold.
I'm always bold, so that was on high. But I was a little tipsy, which is because I don't drink. Yes, I definitely was drinking a little that night because I had hosted at Swan. So I went to Swan, hosted a night for Bad Bitch, I think. Went to 11 and like some shit went down with my brother because he wasn't allowed in, obviously, because he was underage. But the whole thing, his phone died. He couldn't get a taxi. He was asking people for help. No one would help him. This is my little brother. Like, so I come out of the club because I noticed my text messages are going in green. I'm like, shit, like he's not gonna be able to get home, blah, blah. I come out. He's like almost crying. Sad. He's been out there for 45 minutes. He's like, no one's helping me. I was like, no one's helping you. Like, what do you mean? So I go cuss everyone out in front of the club, all the security guards. I'm like, how fucking dare you not help? How dare you? He's like, I asked him. I literally just cussed everybody out at that point. Then I walked away. The police were watching me. I walked away. I was trying to catch an Uber. I was like going on Uber. I was in the street. Not a lot of cars were around. It's like 4 a.m. almost. The cops like, get out of the street. Get out of the street. I'm like,
no.
Whatever. So basically, they end up tackling us.
Whoa.
My brother ends up on the ground. My shoes fly off. I'm on live stream. And it goes. Yo. I'm like, what? And I'm like screaming at my brother because I'm like, he's half black. I know that people don't play about race. This shit is serious. I was like, don't fucking speak. Don't talk. Do what he says. Because he was trying to like fight, I was like screaming at the top of my lungs to him while I was literally getting arrested. But what's really funny is, so when we left, I spent 24 hours in jail. By the way, the worst thing is how fucking freezing it is in there. They freeze you out.
Yep.
Freeze you. That's the worst thing. I could spend weeks in jail. I was not carrying the fact that like you're in flip-flops with no socks, you're in paper thin outfits. Like, it was freezing. That's the worst thing. But other than that, so they were dropping us off eventually. It was like 3 a.m. the next night, because it was like a whole 24 hours. They're like, we're going to drop you off where like basically you like, oh, it was a police station. It was a police station. My car was at 11, or my car was somewhere. And so I was like, okay, they're going to drop us off like at a police station in the middle of fucking 3 a.m. in Miami, me and my brother. I was like, cool, like this sucks. On the way to get dropped off, they start figuring out who I am, right? So they're like, oh, you're Lexi, da da da. Oh, you sing, you do this. I was like, yeah, I just released a song. They're like, oh, bad bitch. I was like, yeah, that's why I got arrested at the party. Like, they're like, oh, so like this big, huge police van situation where we're cuffed in the back like this, me and my brother over there, and I can hear Bad Bitch playing.
Oh my god.
In the front of the freaking car. So they're listening to Bad Bitch.
Wow. That's wild.
I feel like that added to the street.
I was like, no fucking way. Not me in the back of a cop car while the cops are listening to Bad Bitch right now.
Wait, so
I was like, I'm a bad bitch, period.
what did you get charged with?
It's still going, so I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I could talk about those things.
That's unfortunate.
It was ridiculous is what it was. Pretty much jaywalking at this point.
Wow.
So I'm trying to convince Sean to move to Miami. Can you please help me?
Why don't you want to move to Miami? That's the
humidity.
Why does every man say the same
Whoa,
thing?
don't lump us all together.
Every man I ask or talk to says the same thing.
Crime.
That's the first thing.
Crime.
Yeah, but she's the crime we just established.
Yeah, no, for real. Crime?
I mean,
yeah, right. Los Angeles and stuff is doing way worse than Miami is.
That's true.
I feel like Miami, I've never even came across any weird, like...
Scammers.
You're hanging out with the wrong people. I've lived there now. This is going on the second year. I haven't dealt with any weird anything.
Okay.
It's like the beach is there. There's Wynwood. There's outside areas. Like events are outside. Like it's just like, it's so cool. I feel like everything in Los Angeles is indoors. And I don't feel like us as humans, we belong indoors that much. Right. So I feel like there's just so much art outside. The party scene is just awesome. Like any type of party scene you want to join into, it's there. I'm not a big partier, but like when I do step out, it's fun and there's options. You know, there's things to do.
I feel that. We're 2 months
boats
sober.
Every 5 seconds. You want to go on a yacht in 2 seconds? You go on a yacht. Like
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, we don't party, so
Yeah, see, like
no, yacht is for chilling.
Yep.
I would
You
go on a yacht.
can.
We both gave up
There's
alcohol.
beautiful
recently,
women.
so-
Yeah.
Good job, guys, together.
Yeah.
The woman would be for you, but
I cheated. I had a beer that night in LA.
other than that, you've
Other
been
than
good.
that,
yeah.
yeah. See,
My Crohn's disease won't let
that-
me drink. I can't drink. I don't even really like drinking. It's never been my thing.
I feel that.
Can we establish here and now that all the greatest things come from Sacramento, California?
Like what?
Me.
Oh, well, like Lexi and I.
Okay. People wise, I'll give you that.
There we go. So we win, right?
Go
So-
Sacramento Kings.
That's right. Go Kings.
Oh my God, we're in the playoffs. It's been a million years.
We were
16
juniors in high
years.
school the last time the Kings were in the playoffs.
That's nuts.
So shout out to the Kentucky players that now play for the Kings, De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. It is 1,000%.
Yay.
They're
killing
we owe it to
it.
them.
Let's
We owe it
carry
to
the
them.
carry
Yep.
the team.
Yeah, Malik's had a good year.
Yep, very good year. Sean's been giving me shit about the Lakers. And so I say fuck LA whenever I get the chance.
Oh.
Lakers will beat the Kings this year.
Definitely not gonna happen.
Nah, Kings are winning playoffs.
I agree. 1,000%.
Name 3 Kings players.
Malik and Fox.
There we go.
And the third.
It's a bonus.
It's Sabonis. Is like is it Sabonis
Yep,
or something? Yeah, I
exactly.
know his name.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, we'll end it on that, Lexi. Where can people find you?
Lexi Pantera everywhere, baby. Google me.
All right, Digital Social Hour. I'll see you guys next week.